Hi everybody, this is Sherry, and this is my first video in 3 weeks. I'm exhausted and I just got out of the shower, but it's quiet and I wanted to take a moment to thank all of you for your prayers and your concern for me and my kids. For those of you who have not watched Nana JL54's videos and updates, my children were in a motorcycle accident, my son and my daughter-in-law. And I am so grateful to God for taking care of them. So many things could have went wrong that day, but God had His hand of protection on them. There was an accident on the interstate, and cars started slamming on their brakes and veering into the grass and the breakdown lane and to other lanes. And so my son, who would have normally veered into the grass, couldn't do it because there were cars, and he knew that if they laid the bike down in the grass they would slide, and he didn't want he or his wife to get ran over and hit by one of the cars in front of them when they slid. So his only choice was to lay the bike down on the road and hope to God that none of the cars behind them hit them. And God is good, because not only in the cars behind them did nobody touch them, thank God. My son was knocked unconscious. My daughter-in-law rode, and she has road rash real bad, but she's doing better. My son has road rash. He has a fractured scapula, so he can't move his right arm. He can move from his elbow down, but he can't lift this part at all. But God was good, because there was already an ambulance on the way for the first accident, so they decided that Zack and Marquette were more severe, so they took them immediately. And not only that, but in the car behind them that didn't hit them were 2 nurses who were there right at the second it happened to do aid and try to stop bleeding and anything that they needed, because Marquette's hands were in pretty bad shape. She had her helmet on, but she threw her hands up out of instinct to protect her face and to try to stop herself, try to brace herself. And her right hand hit first, and it just chewed it to pieces. And so it would take almost 2.5 hours to do their bandages every day, just hers. And I had to do it twice a day, and my son only took about an hour. But they had a rough couple months, guys. A lady went across the center line and hit my daughter-in-law's car, which is why my son was driving her to work on his motorcycle. And their insurance company refused to settle because the lady was fighting it in court. And so they are going through all of this and, have no car, and then they lay the bike down and have no vehicle at all now. So we were taking them back and forth to doctor's visits and specialists and MRIs and all these things, and we prayed that God would send the right vehicle, that they needed a good vehicle. And a lady at their church happened to put a vehicle out front of the church, and it had a for sale sign on it, so she sat it near the road, and we just happened to notice it when we went to Vacation Bible School the other night, so on Thursday night. So God was good and put a good running vehicle, and the lady was willing to work with them because they only had part of the money now, and they'll get the other part in a couple weeks. So, as bad as the accident was, and as scary and as frightened as I was, and frightened doesn't even cover how scared I was. I thought I lost my children. I've never known anybody to survive a motorcycle accident, so I was very afraid. And I thought maybe my husband wasn't telling me everything because he didn't want me to just totally melt down. And, but we got down here, and God, how I did the things I was able to do the first 2 weeks, I have no idea. I don't know if it, besides adrenaline, it was God, because right now I can barely move. My head can bob and tears can still run, as you can see, but I could barely move. And, but they went today and they picked up a car and they went and filled out the title work, because there was a place that was open on Saturday, thank God. So I have my godson with me, and I'm going to take him back home. I have to take him back home after church on Sunday. And then I get to go home. And as much as I love my son and daughter-in-law, I'm ready to go home. I didn't realize how much I was going to miss crafting. But this is a long video, and I'm sorry to have gone on for 6 minutes, but I just wanted to thank every one of you for your prayers, and for those of you who hadn't seen Janet's video, to let you know why I hadn't been on. And just say thank you. A very sincere, from the heart, from a mother who loves her children, thank you. I read one of the videos, just one that Janet did, the first one, and there were so many prayer requests going up, prayers going up from my son and daughter-in-law, and I couldn't even read the rest because I was crying so hard. So I truly thank you all for all the prayers, and I believe that that's what got my kids through. That's what got me through. And I just want to thank you all and tell you all that I love you. And hopefully maybe next week I can sit down and work on a card, because I want to make one for my aunt who's suffering with Alzheimer's, and I just want to do something to cheer her up. So hopefully I'll be able to do that this week and put that video up for y'all to see. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. God bless you all. Bye.